So there is not a docked ship in your ship. Flying not possible. There we go. Right. Yeah, I need to tweak. There's something wrong with the connectivity about the sub. Oh, I know what it bloody well is. It's these lights. So these lights, these flares are protruding very slightly. And that's making it, stopping it from docking properly. There we go. Right. Good stuff. So now, let's see if I've got the ship on the right way around. It's not fast. We need more thrusters, but it is flying. And it is turning. That's why we put some only RCS in. So this thing is not supposed to be scooting around like, you know, skating around the universe and like strafing past things. It's a big slow vessel. We can make it fancier later by adding more bits on, but we don't need to right now. We can make it pretty basic. We can go forward, we can go backwards. We can't slow down easily because I haven't put any thrusters on the back. But you might want to ask me, how do I go downwards? Well, we can just angle it downwards for a start. It's one thing we can do. Also, we can take off auto brake. When auto brake is in and you're on and you're hovering in the air. Ooh, sorry, I think I hit something there. When your auto brake is on and you're hovering in the air, it's the auto brake that's keeping you from falling without having to hold down the thruster the whole time. Yeah, so we can easily drop into the atmosphere very easily. But the point is we need minimal thrusters to do some of these things. Landing is quite easy. We could, for example, you could fly in somewhere if you were very high up. Wish I could see more. If it was daylight, it'd make it easier. You could fly in somewhere, get relatively low to the ground. Yeah. By coming in like a plane. Oops, hit a tree, which also helps. And then use the thruster. What we landed on top of, I wonder. Are we on top of a tree? No, we're not actually. It's fine. We did it. We're doing it correctly. And I am flying in the right direction, aren't I? Yeah, it's still a front. Yeah, I'm getting it right. I'm doing it right. I'm doing it right, Mum. Look at me go. Look at me go. Yeah, so there you go. So it now flies. Now, I need more thrusters on here, but the point is we don't have to go crazy. We can add some more. I'll have to do that. We can add more thrust on the back if we need to. We need to go faster based upon the weight. But we don't need to, for example, slide sideways, strafe sideways like this. We don't need thrusters on the side. If we do, we can go for very minimal thrusters. A couple of smaller ones, like these from here. For example, the middle lines here, I seem to remember. We could put thrusters in here. For simple manoeuvring, yeah, maybe near a starbase or a way station or something like that. But we don't need anything much fancier than that. We could possibly put a couple of simple thrusters on the front just to help slow us down. But we're not going to try and counteract massive jets on the back. I mean, I could make 4 more of these darn things and be okay. Yeah, we could do that as well. But the point is, I'm not going to go crazy with like a number of thrusters and things on here. It's not needed. The RCS will allow us to turn around. We're mostly going to be parked on the floor on a planet, or we're going to be in space, hovering in space, as like, you know. And then this is what we use to send out for expeditions and things like that from there. It's a big flying base, is what this is. And again, as we improve things later, maybe we'll become more fancy. more fancy people and do fancier things with it, but that will do for now. Am I missing anything super important that needs to be in this ship? I don't think so. I don't think so. I do need weapons on it, of course, and my consideration is already to have... I'll probably have the magazine here, above the storage area. But otherwise we need to start shaping this thing. You need to start shaping the ship so that everything fits in, is neat and tidy. I'll do something with this. Yeah. We probably haven't got enough fuel in here. I'd imagine we probably need more fuel storage to not mess around. How much is actually in these things? I'm not really sure. How many... how much does these massive tanks contain? Did I throw them already? That's O2. I've got even bigger versions. 180. This is 99. They are a lot more, a little bit more efficient, I guess. That's the volume. Where's the what's this actually store in terms of 2700, 1200? So this is a more efficient use of space than this one. And if we look at that compared to something like this one here, 300. Okay. No, we're used to using these, aren't we? 600. So yeah, they are about double the size of the other ones. Okay. I'm just not sure if I put enough in here. I could maybe put some more fuel tanks in as well, oxygen as well. That's another thing about doing this. If we've obviously got a lot of space to fill up here with O2, and up here as well. But we don't have to. By taking this out of the equation, we don't have to have a lot of O2 storage. As much O2 storage. Imagine a space this big. Yeah. Imagine like we put big doors here. We blocked it off, squared it off. That's a huge volume to fill with air. We don't really need to. You know, it's not necessary. And if we had a puncture of some sort, like a burst tyre, like someone just blew a hole in it, or something else happened, or a small explosion happened, we'd lose all that air from the centre. We do need to worry about transmission of air through this, and I'm going to have to deal with that as I go. How am I going to get into air into all the spaces using ventilators? But we'll get there. We're going to get there as we do it. Okay. Next step, I think, is I'm going to try shaping this rear and this front. I'm trying to get a bit more shape to the ship. Yeah. And then I'll do that and bring you back, and then we'll see what I've got going. Because it might be when I have to get to a certain point here where I suddenly go, I need to make a major change to something here because of X. But for now, let's assume everything's going fab, yeah. And I'll try to shape this ship so it looks a bit nicer, and we'll see where we get to in a bit. Okay, let's have a bit of an update part the way through. So I wonder if I need to... Okay, I was thinking about capturing like these sealing in these engines, but in fact I quite like what I did there. I'm just playing around with stuff as usual, but I think I quite like that. There's still some flat surfaces around here we need to change, but I'm just trying to add enough variety to the surfaces that look cohesive but give me lots of opportunity to paint in different ways. I've also got a bit practical here. I've got to get some defences on here. So we've got a couple of basic miniguns. We're going to do a bit more than that, but not too much. Bits from here. Okay, let's have a look at the front's not done yet, but let's do a bit more on the back, shall we? Okay, so obviously a big flat surface. We'll sort that out later. It's not a problem. Let's take the thing off. So we've got in here. This needs to be finished a bit more. I've expanded out the storage in here, but fuel tanks here. Putting up bits and pieces of like fake storage. Obviously we've got the main storage in here. Yeah. I do need to expand this actually. Just thinking about this, I do need to expand this more than that. This is not enough storage. Also, I don't actually think I put an I haven't put a thing in there yet. Let's do that now actually. I just realised. This is why I've gotten distracted part of the way through doing things. Let's put a... No, I need to have that back. That's not... actually, no, we can do that. 1 minute. Let's do... Oh, hold on. I'm also... Just realised. I put in partial sizes on here. I need the full size ones. We'll come on to what I did in a minute about why those are smaller shapes. Let's do... if we put in... I was just thinking I could put something on this side to secure the container controller, but I think for now we'll put the container controller here. Again, I don't mind asymmetric stuff. Container controller. In fact, the things on this side. So let's balance out the weight a little bit. I'm putting the container controller on this side. How big is this actually? 96 thou. Let me just check that what that is versus the base. So what I have here, this is about the same amount of storage as I've got in the base right now. So that's probably enough. You can easily expand it by building it upwards. So that's what we've got in there. We've got the constructor here. We've got a couple of RCS and a ventilator. So this should be... This isn't actually oxygenated, this room right now, because we've got a leak up there. We've got an open to the world. But we've got here ammo controller. So we've got now ammo for capital ships and bases takes a lot more room than regular ammo. Some of the bigger cartridges can really take up a lot of room, so I'm hoping that's enough. I'm not absolutely certain, but I'm thinking that's probably enough. I'm just going to switch this out. I want to change the angle on this. There we go, that's better. I can see the thing right there. Yeah, I've put the container storage up against the ceiling. We need to expand that fairly easily. Then we've got plenty of room in here. This is probably the most roomy room we've got in the whole thing. I thought about making it smaller, but I think we're okay for now, because I want possibly expanding in here is important. Apart from the else, we've got quite a lot jammed in here, so I made this a lot smaller, the engine room, than it was before. I wanted it more cramped. We might do some more bits and pieces as well. Putting surfaces in here. I've obviously sealed this all in with glass, and this is a non-transparent vent, so it's actually open, so the radioactivity shouldn't get us through here. I've sealed it in, and we can put more textures at the back. We're going to have to take some of this out and then put more textures at the back. But everything's in here. I hope these generators are enough. I've already gone way over the CPU, so I've already got a Type 2 in, Type 3 in here, and a single Type 1, which is all I can have. I'm going to put some more of these in, I think is what I'm going to do. Oh, am I missing that there? Oh, I've managed to delete something, I think. That's annoying. What I wanted was... I don't put that out there. Did I put that out there? I guess I must have done. Sometimes I forget things. And also sometimes I... sometimes I use, what do you call it, the mirroring tool, and that makes me delete things by accident. Yeah, so trying to do a bit more with like spaces behind things where you can see more textures and things are partly covered. Maybe I've tried to put too much in here by putting so many valuable stuff back here, like the cores back here, and also the things back here as well. But you know, and that's okay. We are going to have to expand this, and I might have to do something with that. I might take one of these out. These just anomalous shapes I put in here that I was probably going to put digital textures on there. This is taking me a long time to do, is the thing. What I thought about doing possibly is I had considered having a computer room, like for the core, so we could make a little sub room over here, which is like an anti-room into the engineering, and move all the stuff into there. That's a possibility. I can move this door forward maybe, but I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it for now. The CPU, we'll have to expand on this. We might put the other extender through on here. I'm not too worried about it. We'll do that later. Also, I didn't realise, but there's an advanced core. I presume you can build this. The advanced core takes away the CPU requirements, and you can upgrade to this. I'm wondering how you build an advanced core. You know, what does it require to do that? If we point at our core here and tell it to upgrade, it should tell us what we need. Oh, it must be unlocked in the tech tree. Well, we can probably do that. I've got loads of points, so I bet I can do that. Oh, no, hold on a second. No, it should already be unlocked in the tech tree. Oh, you know what? It's not that I have to unlock it. These are all... I'm in creative. This is already unlocked. I think you have to... You get that as like the top reward for Explorer tokens. Anyway, so there you go. So that's the area in here. We've got a lot more stuff to do in here, but that is fine. Yeah, and if we go up here, what we've got here, we are... Oh, I can go... Can I go higher? I thought I'd put the door there. That's funny. Let's go back a second. Oh, it's there, look. Okay, that's why I did it wrong. I was about to say. Here we go. I'd forgotten I'd done this here. Yeah, so this is again stolen from another build. But what I think I might do, on some of the capital vessels I've seen things where they've put little landing pads out here for smaller scout vehicles, and I think this could be a good place to put the Hawk. I reckon the Hawk would fit here quite nicely. As far as that goes. Yeah, anyway, so that's that from there. What else have we got? Up here is the entry into... I'm not sure what to do with this space yet. We'll do something with this. Welcome to the control room. Yeah, so we've got a bunch of different displays. I'm not sure how much energy these are going to use. We've got a bunch of different displays up here. Oh, I'm falling down the hole. Let's get back up here. So what we've got here is... the control room up here, yeah, is the idea. Overlooking everything else. We've got these big tall windows with like a little slot here, and I might put something like nice little plants in here, somewhere to sit and have your coffee, and you can look out upon the landscape, which is kind of fun. I think that's kind of nice. We've got a bunch of different controls. Obviously, I'm the only one controlling this. I would like to put some more deco things in here, like control consoles, but in fact I think I stopped because they were too big. 1 minute. So consoles deco, a lot of these things in here, they're in your way. Yeah, I feel a bit silly just sitting in like the taller chair from here, so I don't think that's a good idea, but a lot of these things in here, they're quite fun, but they're in... I need to see out of the vessel a little bit, you know, and that's just distracting. I haven't got a big view out of here, obviously, because it's how the control room is designed. I don't want to move this any further forward. I want to feel like I can look over at the controls there. So what would I put there? These are all too tall, is the problem. They're quite fun, though, someone. I mean, look at these. Where is it? That's too big to fit in, I think. Yeah, it's too tall to fit in. There we go, it's a smaller one. You know, these are quite fun. Put them over those over there. Like that. Don't do anything, but you can pretend they do stuff. Who knows what this might control? This might control all sorts of things. So what we could do, though, is instead... How about this? So we've got deco... Is it this one? Furnishing deck? I think it is. I think there's some small tables and things you can put in here. Reception tables and bits like that. Benches. I'm sure there was a table in here you could put in. Like a little curved one. Oh, it's going to be too tall again, isn't it? I want something really low. But looks like a cabinet. Just looks like a... I mean, yeah, there's not enough room in here. I've got quite a low ceiling. I didn't want to make it any taller than this. I mean, that... I know it's a chest. But whether it looks like a bit like something else, you know? I want like a curved... If this wasn't so tall, that'd be kind of interesting. Just have a low thing around here. Maybe I can just make something. Can I make a small structure like that? I could try and do it with little blocks. Hold on. Do we have any interesting curves around here we could do? We could just do like this, actually. That's too big. About a lower one. I think these ships are so big in the thing. That's the problem. When you get into like CBM base building, the blocks are very large. Do we have like a really low curve that we can put in? Is it too tall? That's too low, isn't it? Oh, it's actually kind of interesting. I can't see properly in here with the light in there. They're obstructive, aren't they? They're in the way. Look at the big triangles poking up. But this is what I do, though. This is how I build this stuff. I just mess around with things to see what I can make. Where's the little one? I'm sure there's a little one around here somewhere. Not what I wanted, but it'll do, I guess. It's not quite what I was after. Is it this one I'm after? This seems like I want something like halfway between the two, when there isn't one. So fine. We won't go with that, but I've made something new anyway. Yeah, so there we go. So this is what we're building here. We've got this little area, and I kind of like this. Is what I had. This is one of the things I had in mind. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it a. Oh, I've got a different corner there. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it rounded or not, or if it was going to be as it is now with this angle. Yeah, I did want to do more with some of these other corridor pieces, which are kind of fun. These, but they're very narrow, so you have to really have like you'd be walking down a corridor and seeing this on either side, but you can't really have the outside. You have something else for the outside of the ship, so you really need to have like a bigger structure on the outside for like this is the outside of the ship. And this is what you're seeing on the inside, but you can't have anything as thin as this. It just doesn't look right. If I put a ceiling on this, you know, it looks a bit weird. Well, these big empty gaps here. So I think you need to go for a bigger build and then like sacrifice some space to give yourself more texture on the inside, but enough thickness on the outside to make the vessel at least a bit durable. But I think you can see like what I'm going here with the layers and things that I put in here, to try and add more angles and bits and pieces, and not worry about having a smooth, you know, not worry so much about having a really smooth continuous surface where there's no lumps and bumps. Like this is nice and smooth and continuous, but at some point, oof, it just comes out, you know, it's an angle now coming out, or we've got this indent here, and I think that's okay. That's okay to have that. I still need to develop this space in here a little bit. I've done this, which I thought I was going to be very happy with, but I don't think I am actually. I was embedding things under the floor. No, didn't want to do that. Yep. And then you'd be able to sort of look through it and see them. I'm not sure you really can. Maybe if they're really brightly coloured, I could. Maybe I'd have to put grills down, but this has got a slight... See, I'm stepping up. It has got a slight bump to it, which I don't quite like. So much be bumping over it with this. I mean, if I change this to the grills, will it look weird? These are the shutters that I used inside to block in the tanks, but there's still going to be a surface. They're still going to stick up even more, aren't they? I don't know. I feel like, again, I need more sacrificial depth. I need to have this 3 deep, and then you're looking through to things underneath the floor. I don't know. I'm not getting what I want. I'm not getting what I want. It's a problem. Upsetting. And it's frustrating. But that's fine. I can keep working on these things and developing it. I've also done other things like... I've not had the mirroring on. No, I have had the mirroring on. There we go. I'm trying to do things where I've built out this shape a little bit here. You can see I've got... It's not just a flat surface that goes straight in through here into the dock area. And I'll probably do a bit more of that. I don't want to restrict the exit and entry of these vehicles too much, but I want to have more on here. I'd also like to have... I'm considering other things like... I should be able to put defensive turrets on here as well, I thought. Maybe I'm misremembering. I thought I could put little defense turrets on here like you do with a base. Maybe it's just not called a turret. What is it called if it's not a turret? What is a turret that is not a turret? It's like a defensive weapon. Ah! There we go. Sentry guns. That's what I was looking for. Could I put... You know... This is the main entry into the ship, isn't it, really? Well, not really, it is. So if I were to put... Sentry guns like that, they're watching over the access to the bay. Is that not in the right place? Oh, it's looking weird because I've got a protruding part here, but that is the dead centre. Yeah. Sentry guns like that, and I could possibly put some over here as well, maybe watching over access to the ship. If one tries to wander in, seem to make sense. I'm not going to make this a real, you know, battleship, but I can put things like that on there. Yeah, so what are we missing? I need to do more with... I need to start building out, this is what I need to do. And I also need to start narrowing this in. I want to find a sharper point on the front of the ship. We've got a bulky area here. I thought this was going to be the bulkiest area, this bit here, but in fact it isn't. The area of cargo and engineering is bulkier. That's built out more, which is fine. But then I want to narrow this in as tight as I can. I have to see how I can do that. I want quite a steep angle down. In fact, this is actually a little higher than I want it. Not quite the svelte shape I was hoping for, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's just how it is. It would be hard, I think, to try and drop this corridor. To have this corridor coming along here and then drop it down one. Because it might look weird with here. I don't know, I'll work on it. I'll work on it, see what I can do with the bits at the front here. Yeah, but progress is being made. Progress. I'm actually quite happy with it. Let's do one more thing before I leave you for a bit, which is that I just happened to produce this by accident. This is what I put under here as well. I suddenly looked at it and thought, what do I reckon put that? And I was just wondering, actually, where would be a good point? Could I put that anywhere? Would that be appropriate? Could I put it... I've already done one over here. Maybe it's too many to put it up here. Oh, that's what I thought of, wasn't it? I was thinking of here. If I put it like that, I could then, if I pulled out this block, let's undo that. No, we won't undo it yet. Okay. What could I put here as like an anchor point that would hold that going back? I can't make it too steep of an angle. I can make it a rounded one, like something like this. Where is it? There's one over here, I know it is. That one. We could replace it with that. Like that. And then we'd put something in here. I presume just this one, I guess. Holding it on. What do you think of that? Not sure I like it. Not sure I do. No. No. It's like, it's too many of these. I'd rather put something else in here, I think. I don't know. Yeah, it feels like a... Yeah. I like the idea, but I like the way it fits onto this rounded shape, but maybe not here. I'll leave it for a bit. Yeah, I'll come back to it. I won't forget it. I can come back to it. So there you go. Insight into my brain doing stuff in constructions like this. And I'm still fairly happy with it, I think. Yeah? Anyway, so I'm going to go and play around with this some more. For many more hours. Because I need to. I think probably this. And then I'll bring you back. Probably when I finish the front end. The pointy bit at the front. See, I've given up entirely on the nautical terms now. You know. When I finish the prow, the bow, the forward, yeah. When I've done that, we'll have another look. I'll bring you back for that.